What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Force here with some more SC2 commentary. Today's game is going to be between Liquid's TLO and Weekend FOU. This is a Protoss versus Zerg matchup, Weekend versus TLO, here on the map Daybreak. Let's go ahead and start off with some player information, beginning down over here in the lower left-hand spawn position. Our red Zerg player, Liquid's TLO. The Little One, as he's also known as, took first place at the GD Studio Arena 0. This was back in March, on March 18th of this year. And then on April 1st, he took fourth place at the One Nation of Gamers I2 StarCraft 2 Invitational. His opponent over here in the upper right-hand spawn position is our blue Protoss player, Weekend FOU. Weekend doesn't really have many major tournament placements. Now, he has a Korean Grandmaster. I do have a little bit of information on him, though. He took part in the 2011 October GSL Code A event. In that event, he was eliminated by Czech 2-0. Also, back in January 2012, he also attempted to qualify for Code A again in the GSL, but unfortunately he failed in the finals against Hyun. Alright, so that's a little bit of player information to start off the game. Let's hop into the game itself. Weekend will be going for a Forge Fast Expand, also now moving down to scout out the Little One. As you can see, TLO dropping that spawning pool first, very necessary in this matchup, especially with a early scouting Protoss opponent, because you can deal with so much harass at this natural expansion. Back over here for a Weekend, it looks like we're not seeing a Forge yet, so he's going to be saving up so that he can get that Nexus nice and early. In fact, he may very well be going Nexus first. We're going to see this next probe move out to that natural expansion, and with that, we'll see what he decides to go with first. He can still, of course, go Forge first, even though he is saving up his minerals, but no, it looks like he is going to decide to go Nexus first and then place down the Forge as he tries to work a wall off at a little bit of an angle here towards the Nexus, likely within this green box. Back over here, Probe still trying to delay this expansion. Now the Little One's going to be bypassing the Probe at the natural and instead moving to place his first hatchery over here in the third position. So there we go, going to be placing that hatch right there, and that is something that Weekend is not aware of at the moment. You can see still just chilling out over here with the Probe. So still doesn't know about the fact that the Little One is actually coming out with a hatchery. Again, that is in that third position. We are likely not going to see any extractors early on here from the Little One, as he is most likely going to take another expansion right over here at the natural sometime very shortly. Zergling is now chasing the Probe. Weekend's Probe moving towards that third. We'll be scouting it out, so now he knows that the Little One has in fact placed down a hatchery there over in that position, and we will have to see what Weekend decides to do, if he's going to try to push out early on to attempt to do some damage there and hit that quick third. I mean, I guess technically it's the second, not the third, and this is technically the third, but now that all three of these are up, I'm going to call this the second, the natural, and of course this will be called the third, even though this came first. Alright, let's take a look to that Probe and make it back home. No, it did not. Zergling here with one kill, so Weekend was unable to get his Probe there back to the natural, and he's got another Probe over here that was sitting at the tower, but he has decided to pull back now that he sees the Zerglings in the center of the map. Back over here, Weekend now working to complete this wall off. He's got this one photon cannon placed right here, also coming out now with that Cybernex core. I don't believe there's any space right there. I don't think anything can get through that. That would be a little bit of a mistake there for Weekend if he had put any space there, but it does look like that is the full wall off. Even though it may seem like there's space, I don't believe anything can actually pass through that. Let's take a look back over here for the Little One. The Little One with one queen in play over here in the main. Nothing going on over here yet. He's got a second queen coming out over here at the third. And then once his natural does finish, he will be, of course, coming out with a queen for that as well. So that should be starting sometime shortly, and there we go. So that will be another queen. One queen for each hatchery, of course. That is what you want. Probe Scout now moving in again. This time we'll be scouting the natural expansion to see if a hatchery was placed down there. Is going to make it far enough to see the creep spread, which tells him, of course, that there is a hatchery. In fact, he makes it far enough to see the hatchery itself. And then after that, the Probe loses its life. So was unable to actually get up into the main of the Little One to spot the extractor timings and to see if there was a follow-up Roach Warren or Baneling Nest, which there isn't, of course, yet for the Little One. He is now just working to saturate these extractors. 3 in each of them. No extractors over here at the third yet, and now that the natural is in play, he will be working to get that saturated as well. So the Little One likely to be droning up pretty hard here. May come out with, 10 to 14 Zerglings at some point in the near future, just to get a bit of map control and to make sure he's a little bit safe against any possible aggression there from Weekend. Speaking of Weekend, let's take a look at what he's doing. We've got a robotics facility coming through right now. Also a Twilight Council coming out here in the main. Be interested to see what he decides to do with that. Level 1 upgrades coming through as well here out of this forge. Besides that, not a whole heck of a lot. He's sitting on a couple of sentries, and that's really it right now. In fact, yes, just the 2 sentries with a third one building at the moment. Overlord Scout here for the little one. Let's see if he's going to push in to get some sacrificial scouting. He also has an Overlord Scout over here, so it's just going to be repositioning those for now. And we do have a Roach Warren coming out, as well as a layer here for the little one, both of which are about to finish. And here is the evolution chamber. He's going to be coming out with some spore crawlers here. Make sure he's defended against any possible DT. Of course, that is going to help keep any observers at bay as well. So 1 spore crawler coming out over here for the moment. That is going to be it. Also the metabolic boost and the level 1 ground carapace upgrade being researched for the little one as well. Alright, Blink research is coming out of that Twilight Council and the level 2 weapons upgrade. With that robo, we will be seeing some observers come into play here for Weekend, and the first of which is right over here. So the observer making its way across the map now. Doesn't have control of the tower, actually giving that to the Zerglings, still with very small, actually offensive forces. Deciding not to push out with that, but look at this. We do have a third coming through that was scouted out by the little one. We also saw a changeling right over here, which was dropped there by the overseer. So at the moment, the little one knows exactly what he's up against. He saw the Twilight Council that was coming out with that research. Probably just going to assume that that is the Blink research at this point in the game. That is the most likely thing that you would be up against. And then you can just, of course, keep an eye on the stalker count. If it's heavy, that's pretty much guaranteeing it. Especially now that we're seeing pretty much no zealots. Lots of sentries there, able to place down some force fields. Zergling's going to run right by them. Not going to be going here for this expansion. We get some zealots warping in, and these Zerglings trying to engage with the sentries. Managing to get at least one of them there, but besides that, not much else doing. Take a look at the resources lost. You can see the little one a little bit behind right now in terms of those resources lost. Not a lot of worker kills. The little one killed off those 2 scouting probes, but that is pretty much it. And the little one not grabbing the tower at the moment. Where's this observer? Observer chilling out over here. Let's see what he was able to scout. He did scout the main, so he spotted the infestation pig coming through, also spotted the Roach Warren, and of course with all of that, sees that layer that is in play. Carapace upgrade almost finished right now. Nice saturation here for the little one as well, so he's got a very steady economy going. Let's take a look at the income tab. Little one's got the advantage at the moment. Overlord's moving out with that speed upgrade. Very nice, love to see that. Also the pathogen gland coming out. That research, of course, is for the infestors, giving them that extra energy once they spawn. And Weekend not being very aggressive at all this game. He hasn't pushed out whatsoever. Just coming out with Immortals right now. Immortals, Zealots, and Stalkers is really all we're seeing here for Weekend. Now, he has finished the Blink research, but he doesn't even have a lot of Stalkers in play. He just warped in a few more, but now all he's got is a total of 4. And I don't know if you just noticed, but the little one's just fanning out there with his overlords. Look at his vision right now. Look at the little one's vision. He can see pretty much everything across the entire map. Also starting to spread that creep there with the overlords. Absolutely love this, especially at these expansion positions, delaying the placement of his opponent Weekend from being able to actually come out with those expansions. Weekend does have control of the tower, also has an observer chilling over here, and his other observer over here scouts out the center base expansion. The little one expanding like crazy. Another expansion coming out over here. Also coming out with a few infestors, continuing up his upgrades. Melee attack level 1, Carapace level 2, Spire and Hive coming out here. Just craziness, absolute craziness here from the little one. Back over here for Weekend. Weekend, the passive Protoss player who's just working off of his 3 bases and continuing to build up, is coming out with the hallucination research as well as the weapons level 3 upgrade. More and more Immortals coming out, and actually one of them is being delayed here. Look at that, love it. The little one with some contamination action going on. He's got that one over here. He's got another bunch of overseers, so he's going to be laying down them contaminations and delaying. That is the point of having so many overseers here, is to place contaminations, delay research, delay the production of units. Now we do have the robotics bay, so with that we will be seeing some Colossus come through, 2 of them in production. He's going to be delaying one of them there. Love it. The little one being so tricky here with these overseers, and it's such a frustrating thing to deal with as a Protoss player. You don't see a lot of Zerg players do this. Now, one thing to keep in mind is coming out with these overseers, of course, it does cost you resources to actually morph in these overseers, but if you can be on the ball with always placing that contamination down, you can really hinder the production of your opponent's army. As you can see here, this contaminate 125 energy, and it delays the building of units or research for 30 seconds. Really, really big there. And again, that's a significant delay, especially on things with long building times like these Colossus. Oh, so frustrating to deal with. Lots more gateways coming through, and the little one just continuing to macro up here. Let's take another look at his income. Looking pretty strong. Weekend is still behind in both of these, actually. You can see the advantage going to the little one there in both the minerals and gas being mined. And we're going to see a few more overseers now move in to drop some more contaminate here. Meets up with some blink stalkers. Almost loses it, but able to pull back just in time. Whew, very close there for the little one. Yeah, not a lot going on though. Neither player moving out with aggression. We don't have any DT or anything crazy like that in play. Weekend is really just playing super passively as he tries to work up his 200 army. Blink Stalkers take out that Overseer before he can get close enough to delay this research or the construction out of that Robo. And now Weekend deciding to move out to the center of the map. He'll be placing down a Nexus right over here. Spotting the Overlords, placing down that creep. Blinks underneath and takes them out. We're going to have these Roaches and Zerglings pull back here to the center. And now we've got a bunch of Brewlords in play. Brewlords and Infestors over here for the little one. I've been so focused on what's been going on in Weekend's base. Haven't been really paying attention to what the little one has been doing. But yes, he's coming out with Brewlords. Plus he's got all his Infestors. Just finished Neural Parasite, which will allow him to take control of these Immortals or those Colossus. Those high priority, high value units is what he'll be aiming for there. More moving in right now. The little one pushes forward with his Overseers, and what is he going to delay? He's not seeing a lot. There's not a lot of research or building going on, so he's just going to pull back and save this for another time, I suppose. Here comes a big push, though, from Weekend, moving across the center of the map. Also joining him will be a probe placing down a forward pylon, allowing him to continue to warp in. We get a few more Brewlords coming through, lots of Spine Crawlers to help defend, and here comes the engagement. Weekend now moving into the Spine and Spore defense here. We got some Infestors placing down that Fungal growth. Stalker's trying to blink underneath the Brewlords, going to see a Fungal plus the Brewlords pulling back to try to get them back into safety behind this wall of Spines and Spores, and he's going to do a lot of damage, and Weekend is forced back. Cannot puncture that wall there. Great defense there by the little one. Holding on to the center expansion, of course, is a key thing here in this game. Really wants to make sure that he can keep that as long as possible. This is pretty much one of the most vulnerable. I guess the only other one would be trying to take an expansion in this position. That, of course, is very vulnerable as well. But it's very tough to defend at this position here on Daybreak. And the little one doing a good job there in that first engagement. Take a look at the resources lost there. They're about even, with the little one being slightly behind in resources lost, but nothing major. And Weekend decides it's time to move in again. Nice spread there on the Brewlord. Stalkers blinking underneath. There's the Fungal growth, and then the Brewlords pull back. The little one doing a good job with that there. One Brewlord did get taken out there, unfortunately. Corruptors also target firing down those Colossus. There are still 4, though. And the little one is on the ropes right now. It's getting pretty close to losing that expansion, but he's doing so much damage with those Brewlords back in safety behind that hatchery. He's able to force back Weekend yet again. Here comes some infested Terrans to assist as well. And there you go. Gotta love it indeed. Still have the Overseers chilling out over here, nothing going on with them. And we didn't see any counterattacks there from the little one, not doing anything like that. He does have a Changeling chilling out over here, but that's about it. Nice hiding position, by the way. Right behind that pylon, wedged in between that and the Nexus. As you can see, Weekend did not spot that, or at least, I don't know, maybe just didn't care about it enough, wasn't paying enough attention. Fleet Beacon coming out here for a Weekend. With that, we may be seeing, of course, a mothership. Pretty exciting there. Let's see what he decides to do. I just have to assume that that's going to be it. It's either that or carriers, and carriers are LOL. Nobody gets those. Blinking underneath the Brewlords again. Let's see if the little one can hold on to them this time. Oh, those Stalkers doing a lot of damage, forcing the little one back. He's got some Spines assisting the Brewlords. Decide to turn around and engage, but that is it. The Brewlords are a goner. More Brewlords trying to come through. We've got some Infestors placing down Infested Terrans. Once they do hatch, they do crazy amounts of DPS. Let's see if they get out in time. Yes, it is enough. The little one still holding on to this expansion. Again, doing a fantastic job. We do have a mothership now coming through. Now, again, we've got these Overseers over here. Let's see if the little one spots that. Oh, Oh, there it is. Overseer will be delaying this mothership. This is huge. This is even bigger than delaying those upgrades of the delaying Colossus over here as well. The little one all over this. Look at this in the main base delaying so much at the same time. Engagement going down over here. The little one coming out with more and more Brood Lords. Look at those upgrades across the board there for the little one. His macro is crazy. And with these spines, Brood Lords and Infestors still able to defend. This is absurd. Mothership still trying to come through. Colossus continuing to get delayed. That one is coming through right now. The fact that the little one has been able to consistently hold on to this and as a result maintain that economic advantage is really going to help him out here. And we still got that mothership, which is going to be a pretty big deal. The little one doesn't have enough energy to drop another Contaminate quite yet. He's getting very close though on these two. This one's going to be the closest right now. I guess these two are pretty much about the same though, but yes, he's very close to being able to place down some more Contaminates. Let's see if he decides to try to continue to delay that mothership. And we got some more Overseers moving in. He's gonna sneak right by. There it is. Contaminate on the Nexus, delaying the mothership again. Oh, so frustrating for a Weekend. He just wants to get that in play, try to save up that energy so they can do that Archon toilet, but the little one continues to delay that there with the Overseers. More Overseers moving in. Here we go. The little one is all over this. Oh god, gets the Contaminate down before he loses it. Yes, he does. Places down another Contaminate, delaying it even further. And these Overseers will continue to dance around here. A big problem for these Stalkers is they're dealing with all these buildings getting in the way. Now, of course, they can blink, but we still have these two Overseers over here. One over here now. I think, did he just place down another Contaminate? There it is. Another Contaminate gets placed down. The mothership gets delayed even further. This is an absolute riot here. The little one is just all over delaying that mothership, buying him more and more time to come out with these upgrades. Adrenal glands for these Zerglings. A level 3 flyer attack. His upgrades are through the roof right now. This is absurd. Let's take a look at his unit composition. Brood Lords, Infestors, and a few Zerglings. Just a handful of Zerglings, not a ton, but mostly focusing on those Brood Lord Infestors. Also coming out with a bunch of Queens right now. Transfuses help a lot. Another Contaminate on the mothership. Holy heck. Wow, I think he's lost all of his Overseers, but that was impressive. Look how long he's delayed this mothership. He dropped at least, what, 4? 4 or 5 of them. 4 of them, of course, equate to 2-minute delay on the mothership. And if you drop 5, that would be 2:30. Unbelievable. Now we're going to see a push here from the little one, making his way towards the center expansion here of Weekend. And this is a very scary push. Look at all of those Brood Lords. 15 Brood Lords supported by 6 Infestors and 47 Zerglings. The Zerglings going to be target firing this down. Blink Stalkers trying to get underneath those Brood Lords. There are still so many left though. 12 Brood Lords remaining. The expansion is gone as the Zerglings able to take it out while the rest of the force was distracted with those Brood Lords, and that is absolutely beautiful from the little one. The little one also now sneaking the Zerglings up in the natural expansion. Will be taking out this cannon and then continuing to wreak havoc to the worker count here of Weekend. Now 21 workers killed for the little one. The little one continues to dance back and forth. Needs to be careful though about his Brood Lords getting in a vulnerable position, but I don't know, can this amount of Brood Lords ever be vulnerable? There are just so many of them. Now we have the mothership finally in play, but is it a little bit too late? That's the question. The little one doing so much damage here. Another fungal growth on those Blink Stalkers, on those Broodlings to continue to do damage, and this is a tough position there for those Infestors. Able to burrow, no Observer here to detect them, so they are safe for now. Zerglings continue to do damage. They've taken out the Nexus in the meantime, and they're going to be now moving in the main to try to kill a few more workers. Where they're going to go for going straight for those Templar Archives, and with their full upgrades, going to do so much damage. 3/3 plus Adrenal Glands, giving them that extra attack speed. And look at how quickly they took out that Templar Archives. Unreal play here from the little one. Such a long stalemate for the first, I don't know, it was about 20 minutes of this game. Really weren't seeing a lot of action, at least for the first 15. But now things have just taken a drastic turn, and the little one is doing phenomenally. Let's take a look at the resources lost. Weekend is behind here. Looks like that is about 6,000 resources behind. And of course, we also want to take a look at the worker kills. 28 worker kills. The fact that we don't have a Nexus over here obviously hurts Weekend as well. He lost his Nexus over here, which would have given him more Vespine plus a little bit more minerals. And this is just a really painful situation here for Weekend. The other thing, of course, we're going to take a look at now is the income. The little one with a tremendous advantage. Now transitioning into Banelings, as you can see in the production tab. We've got that Baneling nest as well as the Ultra Cavern. And we have some Zerglings over here that will continue to do damage. Unreal, the little one doing a great job this game. He's in such a strong position at the moment. Let's take another look at the composition. 11 Broodlords. We got 1 Roach, 1 Corruptor, 6 Infestors, 15 Zerglings as well. More Broodlords coming through. And again, keep in mind that Baneling Nest and Ultra Cavern almost finished. That will allow for a quick transition for the little one. With his economic advantage, he's going to be able to do phenomenally with that. We do have a few Archons in play, though, plus that Mothership, who does have enough energy to place down the Vortex. Again, that Archon Toilet can be very scary. That is something that the little one is going to have to worry about. Have to just be very, very careful to try to make sure that that is not going to be enough to take out his entire army. There's just so much over here in the center map. We're going to see another engagement over here. There it is, Vortex going down, and oh boy, FPS a drop into hell as well. Really too bad. Vortex continuing to suck up units there. Archon's going to go in, and let's see how much damage he's able to do once this pops out. Now we get a nice spread on the Broodlords, the little one keeping a lot of those back. And there's the pop right now. Archon's moving out. He just got a lot of Overseers, though. Only got a few Broodlords in that. Really wasn't too much, and that is quite unfortunate indeed for Weekend, as Weekend is really in a tough spot right now. The little one continuing to push and finally gets the GG. I got to apologize there. I don't know why the frames dropped down so low. That's really nothing that's ever happened to me before, but nevertheless, the game is over, and what a game indeed. The little one, GG with the win. Alright, my friends, thank you so much for watching this game here between the little one and Weekend. Absolutely phenomenal game. Great play there by the little one, and those contaminations on the Nexus, delaying that Mothership was just a riot. Great play from the little one. Maybe something for you Zerg players to try to consider incorporating into your own games. That can be very, very powerful. Delaying your opponent, buying yourself more time to get upgrades and a stronger army. Again, what a great game. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this game here between the little one and Weekend. As always, be sure to subscribe if you like the content, and stay tuned in the future for more SC2 and gaming videos here on the channel. Thanks so much, guys. Keep watching and keep owning.